This is the new 2020 Mazda CX-9, and for this year there are some big changes within. There is now a standard suite of safety features, an upgraded infotainment system, different seat configuration for the second row, and much more. Is this still one of the most fun and engaging three-row SUVs on the market today? Find out. Before I get started, I want to give a big thanks to Napleton's Countryside Mazda. If you're in the market for a brand new or used Mazda, definitely check their dealership out. Their URL is on the screen and in the description below. Starting with the outside, the CX-9's exterior has not changed since the second generation came out in 2016. This day and age, it seems like most designs grow old very quickly, but the CX-9's exterior is still very handsome and luxurious. The body is curvy and there are some striking chrome trim pieces all around. The front grille is big and imposing, and the headlights are sleek and blacked out within. Speaking of headlights, all trims receive full LED headlights with auto on-off and auto height control. With the Grand Touring and Signature trims, the CX-9 comes with LED fog lights as well. The side of the CX-9 has a sleek and sporty look with a sloping roof, high beltline, and those large wheels. With the Sport and Touring trims, you get 18-inch alloy wheels, heated mirrors, and black molding underneath the doors. With Grand Touring and Signature trims, you get 20-inch alloy wheels, heated and power folding mirrors, aluminum roof rails, and chrome moldings underneath the doors. Now moving on to the back side, the CX-9 is round, but it has a good stance. All trims get body color roof spoiler, privacy glass, great looking LED taillights, and dual chrome exhaust. All trims except the Sport trim gets power liftgate, but the Grand Touring and Signature gets the hands-free feature with the powered liftgate. Inside the trunk, even with the third row up, there's still a good amount of space to haul things around. On the right side, there's a 12V outlet, and there's some hidden storage on the right and left side, as well as underneath the bottom cover. And if you want to fold the seats back, simply pull on the levers and fold them down. Moving on to the second row, you'll see one of the biggest changes to the CX-9 for 2020, and that's the addition of captain chairs. They are now standard on the Grand Touring and Signature trims and optional on the Touring trim. The Signature trim also gets a special center console between the captain chairs. This Grand Touring CX-9 gets a full leather treatment on the inside, but the Signature trim gets upgraded to Napa leather inside. As for amenities in the second row, this Grand Touring gets climate controls, heated second row seats, pair of vents, pair of cup holders, pair of USB ports, also sunshades. As for space, I'm 5'10" and there's around 4 inches of legroom and about the same for headroom. The seats can slide and recline. Now to get in the third row, you could try to squeeze in between the captain chairs or pull on the lever to fold them forward. As you can see, the space to get in is a little bit narrow. Once in the third row with the second row seats all the way back, my knees are touching the front. I do have about 2 inches of headroom left. On each side, you get a USB port, cup holder, and some storage bins. As for the engine, the CX-9 uses a Skyactiv G 2.5-liter turbo engine, pushing 227 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. That's on regular gas. If you happen to use premium gas, that power gets bumped up to 250 horsepower and 320 pound-feet of torque. This engine is mated to a 6-speed auto. Now moving on to the front, the CX-9's cabin is still very sleek, modern, and luxurious. The use of chrome, aluminum, and glossy black trim everywhere looks amazing. The leather-wrapped steering wheel has a great look, with buttons on the right for radar-guided cruise control and phone, volume, and info screen buttons on the left. This Grand Touring has a 7-inch LCD display within the gauge cluster, which gives you more information such as trip computer, service schedule, etc. You also get a 360 view monitor in here to show you what's around your car. Now for 2020, a huge addition is the standard safety suite called iActive Sense. You get blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, radar cruise control, advanced smart city braking support, high beam control, lane departure assist, lane keep assist, smart brakes support, and finally traffic sign recognition. This is all standard across all trims. What's also new for 2020 is that the Touring, Grand Touring, and Signature trims gets a larger 9-inch infotainment display with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The system is mostly controlled through a knob in the center console area, but it's pretty easy to use, and the screen is also touchscreen to make navigation a bit easier. Above the controls, you get a standard shifter and sport mode. Climate control is pretty easy to navigate through, and on this Grand Touring you have heated steering wheel, ventilated seats, tri-climate zones, moonroof, and memory seats. For 2020, all trims receive heated front seats along with rain-sensing wipers. Alright, it's time to go for a drive. Let's see how the CX-9 is on the roads. So first impression is, these seats feel very sporty. And what I mean by that is they're hugging me in. Remember, I showed you guys how well bolstered these seats were, and I definitely feel it. I do feel like the back is holding me in, even at my size. I'm a pretty big guy. It fits me really well. Now, I will say the bottom cushion feel a tad short. I feel like the cushion is just, there's not enough extension there, and they feel a little stiff. I would say that they're still holding my thighs, my butt in, but just a little bit short and a little bit stiff. The heads-up display, I left it on. It is very bright. It's in my face, in the windshield, and it's nice because one of the things that I love about the heads-up display in Mazdas is the blind spot monitoring. Rather than having to look on your mirror, right, for it, you could actually see it in the heads-up display if there's something to the left or right of you, and you don't even have to turn away. So I love that. All right, now that I'm up to speed, I'm going about 50 miles per hour. In terms of quietness, it's fairly quiet, although I kind of expected to be a little bit more quiet. I do hear some from the road, and also slight wind noise. And when cars passing by, I do hear that as well. It's not bad. It's still a good level, and keep in mind I have the radio off, but I kind of expected it to be a little bit quieter. As for power or passing power, there's plenty of it. This 2.5 liter turbo engine with this 6-speed transmission, no problems with passing. Just slight. You put your foot down slightly, and away you go. But later on, I'm going to test to see how it is going up to 60 miles per hour and see how good the acceleration is. The brakes come on strong. So after about an inch or so, it really stops the CX-9. So it comes on strong, comes on a tad early, but overall, pretty good feel. I will say the engine noise is loud. Just normal acceleration, I hear a lot of engine noise. I don't hear any exhaust noise, and it's very quiet in the cabin, but I do hear a lot from the engine, so I wish there was more insulation under the hood. Now, in terms of steering, very, very precise steering. And Mazdas are known to be on the sportier side, right? And you could definitely tell with the steering. Very precise. That means there's absolutely no play. When I just do this slightly on the steering wheel, I can feel the CX-9 move around, so there's no play in the steering wheel. So it's very precise. But I will say that the feel is a little vague. I wish there was more heft or heaviness to the steering wheel. I think that would be a little bit more engaging. All right, so now I'm at the point where I do a U-turn and see how the turning radius is. Now, I suspect the CX-9 will do pretty well, so let's see here. Oh, barely made it. Wow. It made it. I didn't have to go in reverse, but I honestly thought it would do better than that because I actually took that pretty wide too. So Turning radius isn't the greatest. Now, in terms of visibility, nice and big windshield. Side mirrors are pretty good. Blind spot is pretty good, but in this one, you get the blind spot monitoring system anyway, so that's not a problem. Now, I will say the back, the rear window, with the two headrests up from the third row, which I left it on purpose, they do block a lot. I would say almost 50% of your visibility. Now, you can still see in the middle between the two, but I will say they block quite a bit of your view from the rear window if you keep the headrests up. But outside of that, it's a good driving position, good visibility. I feel like the mirror is a little bit tad too close to me. But outside of that, no complaints. Okay, now I lied. It wasn't 0 to 60. It was more like 30 to 60. I would say acceleration so-so. It took a while to get up to 60 miles per hour. I don't know the exact figure, 0 to 60 off the top of my head. I'll probably put it below just so you guys can see it. But it's adequate, but I would just categorize it as so-so. All right, so I'm on a pretty bumpy freeway here. A lot of bumps, imperfections, dips. It's definitely coming through, but it's okay. I actually think it's okay. It's still comfortable, and I could definitely feel how it's more sporty. So when I'm taking these corners, these turns, right? Very little body roll, very controlled. All right, so I just activated sport mode. So let me see if it makes any difference. Do I feel better throttle response or feel anything different once it's in sport mode? Yeah, under sport mode, I can't do heavy acceleration right now, but I could tell the throttle is a lot more aggressive, and most sport modes are. It tunes the throttle, and the transmission definitely holds its gear much longer. I will say driving in sport mode at low speeds is kind of irritating because the transmission just keeps holding the revs, and it gets kind of annoying. The cabin in here just looks so nice. It really does. Starting from the steering wheel on to the center console dash area over here, and the use of aluminum and chrome throughout the cabin, honestly, it just looks like it's in another class. It looks like you're driving a German luxury car. It does not feel like you're in a Mazda. As for trim level and pricing, there are 4 trim levels to the brand new CX-9. All trims except Signature can be selected with front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Now, the all-wheel drive Sport starts under $36,000, and you get a lot of standard safety features such as the new iActive Sense suite, heated mirrors and front seats, LED headlights and taillights, and 18-inch alloy wheels. The Grand Touring I'm testing today starts a tad above $43,000, and a Signature trim tops out over $46,000. Lastly, let's look at the good and bad to this brand new CX-9. Starting with the good, it has an elegant and modern look outside. The interior looks and feels like a German luxury car. The new standard iActive Sense safety features is a big bonus. New standard features across all trims. The new 9-inch infotainment screen is a plus. And finally, you get a comfortable ride with precise steering feel. Now, as for the bad, there's a few things as well. The exterior look still looks the same after 4 years. There are features missing such as panoramic sunroof or entertainment features for the second row. Third row access and space is limited. The engine is loud and acceleration feels just so-so. The sport suspension is a tad bumpier on normal roads. And finally, the CX-9 is not as big as some of the competition. Overall, I'm giving the brand new 2020 Mazda CX-9 a score of 97. Is it one of the leaders in the space? Find out at driversonlyrankings.com. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and check out some of these other videos.